All right, today we're going to be working on my 85 Suburban. This vehicle was built primarily to tow our sand toys up to the desert, sand. We've been at what, Glamis,
Idaho.
Idaho. So it needs to be fairly reliable.
Yeah, Oregon.
Oregon. The motor is about 2 years old.
Yeah.
So it's a small block 406. It has Dart Iron Eagle heads, four-wheeler cam, comp, Magnum rockers,
Holly fuel injection.
Holly fuel injection. What else? Everything's pretty much been changed.
Howard cam.
Howard cams, lifters, 14 bolt, 488s in the rear. It tows pretty good.
480E.
480E with the TCI programmer, or I guess you say trans controller. So what? About a year now? Was it last year? Year and a half ago? We had the issue.
2 years ago, I think.
Really? No.
You think so? It was a while ago.
Hard to say. We were towing from Sand Mountain, Nevada. We're going up. Is it Donner Summit?
Mm-hmm.
Donner Summit, and we're pulling a 10,000-pound trailer, and we're about 4,000 RPM, and the motor just quit. Started making a bunch of noise, so we pulled over because I had no choice. Right, so we pull over and turn it off, pop the hood, turn it back on, and we noticed that it was making a bunch of noise. Right, so and it was only running out a couple cylinders, or it would what seemed like a couple cylinders.
Yeah.
So from there, we get the car towed, get it home, take it apart. It turns out we bent number one exhaust valve, and there's no other evidence as to why the exhaust valve bent. I mean, the springs were in good shape; they weren't bent. Push rods were good. So the only logical conclusion that we could come to was the valve guide. It pinched the valve guide. There was interference between the valve guide and the valve.
Valve stem.
The valve stem, yeah. So we take it off, send it to the machine shop, spend $1,000 on new valves. I asked them to hone the exhaust valve guides to a couple 10,000ths, give us a little bit extra clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Put new springs in it. We buy new rockers. We buy some Pro Comp Magnum rockers. Assemble the motor, and this is kind of what leads us to. Was it this week?
Well, after we built it, it was running fine.
Yeah.
Had good power.
Got on it.
It never had any hiccups while you were driving it.
No. We did some I don't want to say drag launches, but we got on it pretty hard to 6,000 RPM multiple times. Took it snow wheeling, almost not hit the rev limiter, but got it up there. No issues. So that leads us to this week when Andrew says, "Hey Dad, can I borrow your truck?" I was like, "Sure, son." His crane trigger went out, right? And your LS and your 73 step side.
Mm-hmm.
So being the good parent that I am, I said, "Sure, you can drive it." Then I get a call on during work. What day was that?
I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. He says it's not running right. It's stalling out. So, kind of walk him through what happened that day.
So, I was driving it to school, and it's really foggy outside. So, I was driving pretty cautiously. So the RPMs were probably 2,200 to 2,400 RPM down the back roads, and it's driving fine as I'm getting there, and then I come to a complete stop at a stop sign, and the engine shuts off. Didn't want to stay running, so I tried to get it started, and it didn't want to start at first, so I had to give it gas, and after that I had to give it throttle and hold the brake at the same time in order to keep it running at stop signs. By the time I got home, it just started getting worse and worse. So got it home, tried to do a data log, and it sounded like it was an ignition thing, because it sounded like only a couple cylinders were running. It would idle at 400 RPM when it was idling, so it didn't sound very healthy. So I waited till he got home and took the valve cover off.
No, first I was like,
Oh yeah.
what the hell? What were you doing?
Well, no.
We looked at it
after.
Oh yeah. So we pulled the valve covers off, and we noticed that one of the rockers was loose, and the poly lock wasn't loose, and the push rod wasn't bent, which leads me to believe that obviously it's a bent valve because something's still holding the valve open with a good spring, right? Mm-hmm. So then I asked him, I'm like, dude, don't lie to me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Mind you, it shouldn't matter. So that motor can rev at 6,000 RPMs all day long. It's full roller, good parts, good components, good springs. We put higher pressure springs in there, so it shouldn't be an issue. But I was still curious, and I was like, hey, I can pull a data log, even though I didn't have a data log. And he said, look, it was foggy. I didn't do anything wrong. It was just idling it. So, which leads me to believe that we don't fully understand what initially caused the valve to bend, because that doesn't make any sense. So today, we are going to do a time-lapse video of the disassembly, and then we'll see if we can diagnose with the root cause of why the valve bent, because we really need to understand that. And even if we do understand the root cause, at this point, these heads are so tainted, I'm just like, you know what? I might just go with this at AFRs, because I really can't afford this vehicle to break down. It's our secondary tow vehicle, but still, it doesn't matter. When you're out there in the middle of nowhere,
you don't have two trucks. So.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a pain in the ass, and I just don't want any stress, you know.
On a vacation,
especially on vacation. So I don't. It's not worth it. So, but I would like to know what in the hell.
Yeah,
why is this
happening the second time? And this time it happened on number 8 cylinder. So.
Yeah, so it's different cylinder. I don't know. So I guess we'll see. So let's take it apart and then do a time lapse, and then we'll put the head on the bench, and we'll pull the valve spring off, or the retainer valve spring, and see, you know, what the hell's going on. All right, let's get to it.
This is the 1985 Suburban.
Andrew took the heads off and all the other components. Let's look at the damage to the piston from the bent valve. Let's see here. Doesn't look to be too bad. There's a little nick in it. Nothing.
No crack?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. A lot of carbon, but that's about it, really.
There was oil on the plug on that cylinder.
This one?
Yeah.
it seems to be okay. Besides this mark there. Maybe hit it with some carburetor cleaner. Yeah. So
Is that in it right there too?
where? This?
No, on the
That?
the 6-cylinder.
No.
Down. On the other side.
Doesn't look like it.
Just water.
Just water. Doesn't look like anything else made contact. All right, this is the offending cylinder head. This is the valve that got
Smack.
hammered. So there's a lot of oil on it. It's probably from driving around, what, 4 miles
Mm,
with the valve not closing.
I don't know if it was 4 miles, but it's kind of far for driving it with the bent valve.
All right, let's pull the valve out and see. What the hell?
This was the plug. Focus.
Let me go grab the valve spring compressor. It's in the back. I gotta swap this around real quick. Of course. So almost got it. Almost. The valve's bent, so it's not releasing it fully. There you go. There you go. There you go. I even used the good locks. All right.
What's the seat pressure on the springs? You remember?
I think it's like 135 or 140 pounds. I'll have to test them each one. Well, I'm not gonna use the heads again, so.
Will you use the springs again though? They're still good, right?
As long as they're good, yeah. They're not broken. It felt pretty stiff. Doesn't look like it was walking all over the place either. Pull this valve out. Oh, this son of a bitch is tighter than hell. Can't even push it in. Or you can, but that's like zero.
It took the seal with it.
Did it really?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did.
Oh shit, it did. What a piece of garbage. Dude, this thing is jacked. She was not burning right. Wait. Is that the valve guide? What the? Hold on, let me get some, take my gloves off. This requires some, yeah, I think it's melted, dude.
Like seized it.
Hold on, let me take my, let me get, you gotta take my coat off for this one.
Let me take my shoes off.
So look around, bring the camera around. See how the all
There's-
the material,
That brass?
the brass, yeah, around the valve stem.
Little flakes.
Can you zoom in or no?
Yeah, I can zoom in. Take the light off a little bit. Just a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Dude, this thing is hammered. What a piece of garbage. So actually, I'm gonna knock it out. I was curious. I couldn't remember whether the iron heads use brass guides. I think some of the garbage, cheap, not
Chinese
cheap, like
stuff?
the stock stuff, maybe Chinese stuff, use that. But this whole guide just came out. Where is? Let's see. I thought I had some pliers. Let's see here.
Yep. Whole guy
The
came
whole
out.
freaking guide came out. What the hell? I've never, ever seen that happen. You could see where it started to kind of self-clearance. Let's take it over to the solvent tank and clean it and measure it. You can see the wear, the uneven wear on the witness marks on the valve stem. They're right here. Where's my mic at? And of course the mic is dead. What, is it dead? It's dead. You need a battery. So 16.24. That's pretty consistent. It's within 2/10,000ths. Yeah, I just think it was just too tight to begin with. Piece of shit. All right, well, looks like we found our problem.
Do you have the old valve? The one from the number one song?
Didn't I hang it up here?
Oh, yeah, you're right here.
So this is the last valve that I got hammered by the piston.
Exact same thing, too.
Yep. Let's mic this one and see. It's about 3/10 larger. Yeah. Let's see, where's the other one at? It's a 10th. This one's a 10th larger. 1/10,000th of an inch larger.
That's the old one? Or is it the one that you just...
Yeah, this one we just took out. Damn, dude. All right. Well, I guess we're getting ourselves a new set of heads. Definitely can't trust these anymore.
I'm curious to see if any other ones are showing wear marks.
Look at all that brass. Can't believe that shit. That's probably the reason why I did it when you're driving to school, because the motor is probably, you didn't probably have a bunch of heat in the motor, and the exhaust valve was heating up, and it probably just started working loose. I still can't believe that.
Well, when it, I guess, got seized in the valve guide, when the piston smacked it, probably knocked it loose too.
Yeah, probably. All right, I guess we're done with this. The next video will probably be, hopefully it'll be us bolting on instead of AFRs.
Yeah, that'd be cool.